Hey, we got a grab bag once again, ladies and gentlemen. Byron and Slade back at it again. How you doing?
That's right. And we got quite a bit of news for you guys this week. So without further ado, let's talk about Tekken 8 and some tweets from Harada-san.
Yes. So, Harada-san on Twitter confirmed that both Crossplay and Rollback will be coming to Tekken 8 in a very Harada way.
That's right. So obviously this is fantastic news, but not exactly in the way that he put it when it came to announcing the rollback.
Yes.
Byron, if you want to go ahead, Paul, and explain the tweeting question.
Yeah, so, but before we get to that, we learned an interesting detail about the crossplay aspect of this. He said in the tweet, by the way, when the previous generation consoles were released, he had already proposed crossplay between the two platformers, Lamau. but I get it, English isn't his first language. Not gonna roast him too much for it. However, at the time, they were at odds with each other over their mutual interest and P2P, peer-to-peer security issues, and repeatedly refused. Which is very much true, as we saw throughout the whole Epic Apple case, if y'all remember that one.
And that was just indicative of where we were at in terms of crossplay during the PS4 and the Xbox One kind of era. Sony obviously would not play ball under any circumstances until giants like Fortnite and whatnot kind of use their power a bit to kind of force the issue along.
Yeah, Fortnite, Fall Guys, Apex Legends, Among Us.
Yeah, and I think the pandemic also helped a lot with getting crossplay, pushed.
Yeah,
but that's not the tweet I was referencing when we were talking about it. It was a very interesting, maybe not the best way to put it.
Yeah,
so we got a question from Twitter user @CheapDude. Okay, but will there be rollback? His response was, already installed it and it already has what you want. The reason why we don't make big announcements like crossplay is because even if we make big announcements, people like you will only say things like, "Wah, that's normal in this day and age." So shut up and sit the hell down.
Yeah, bit, I don't know if
crazy.
Rude is the word, crass?
Yeah, it definitely, it's very crass and brazen, but I get why there's a bit of pushback to this because, again, it's one of those things where, like, even if what he's saying is technically true, you should be marketing your games with things like rollback netcode and, like, whatnot. Because I feel like nowadays, a fighting game's longevity and purchasing power, like it has amongst, like, people who want to buy it, depends on whether or not you can play the game online. And I've been saying this for the last, I don't know, like, decade now.
Yeah.
Fighting games are not playable online without rollback. Like, peer-to-peer does not work for the genre.
Yeah,
There's too many precise things going on at once, too many inputs happening for peer-to-peer to even remotely work and feel like a fair experience.
Yeah, well, I was going to say Multiversus taught us, like, you also kind of need, like, content. A good content pipeline, but that's a whole separate issue that we've covered before in the Death of Multiversus for now, a few episodes ago, but...
but long story short, I just don't think this is good PR. I think telling one of your fans to shut up and sit the hell down in regards to asking a pretty, warranted and, concerning question, considering Rollback hadn't been part of the series up until this point.
Well,
as well as the fact that Bamco hadn't included Rollback either for Smash Ultimate, and they developed that game.
Well, they patched in a version of Rollback for, like, the latter half of Tekken 7, but...
It's 3 whole frames. Wow. No, they need like rollback like all the way through, like actual just straight up rollback.
Yeah. So speaking of as Harada said, big announcements. We have the announcement of Dreams by Media Molecule shutting down to an extent. So yeah, the live support for Dreams, the creation tool on PlayStation, which I don't know if we covered this on the show. There was a Mario fan creation in Dreams that Nintendo were like, nah, Sony, take that shit down now.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was quite the thing. But yeah,
That's actually the only thing I remember from this Dreams thing. But
yeah, like, and I saw like a YouTuber play some stuff in it. That's about
yeah, pretty sad considering I thought this was actually something that was really cool for Sony and PlayStation to kind of have something like this. It's essentially like dev kit for babies in terms of making games.
Yeah, but
and it's just sad to kind of see it go, but kind of understandable. I don't think it necessarily had the support from a large base of people.
It didn't have the support from anybody but the devs, because Sony didn't even support it like that much, to be honest. But the live support will be discontinued September 1st to shift focus to an exciting new project, which has me going eye emoji. Like, you gonna return to doing stuff like Little Big Planet again, or close to that, please?
You would hope so. I'm glad the company isn't shutting down after, it's perceived failure with this.
Because
they've spent, what happens nowadays.
They spent like a decade plus on Dreams. Which, holy shit. I'm shocked this announcement didn't come in like 2020 or something like that.
Right? It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, this just straight up didn't pan out for one reason or another. And
yeah, so
it's good to see them moving on. Hopefully it means good thing for Little Big Planet fans, or possibly a new IP that they develop.
Yeah, that would be cool. And speaking of moving on, they're going to be doing some server migrations they were going to make some big changes, a necessary update to preserve the security and stability of Dreams. And there are some new changes. So limitations, so local, so storage space, you'll only have 1 gig of in-game storage, 128 photos, 256 creations, and for the local, 5 gigs, 256 photos and creations, and then 512 per creation. So they're doing all that. They're releasing some other content. You can now delete rather than archive creations. That's being removed. Prize bubbles and all this other stuff. You can, if you want to see more, there's links down below. But yeah, that is the end of Dreams. You could say the dream turned into a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm gonna make the more comment. The dream is dead. Comment.
Both this game and the content creator in terms of like popularity.
Yeah, but speaking on taking a new life,
yes,
Redfall is going to launch on Xbox consoles coming shortly. So, Redfall is launching with quality mode for the Xbox Series X and X.
Yeah,
1440p, 30 FPS, and 60 FPS will be added via game update at a later date.
Yeah,
this is yikes.
Yeah, that is a big yikes, considering the PC version, I'm pretty sure, will have the 60 FPS at launch for Redfall. So, what the hell happened here? I've seen people call for a delay to add the 60 FPS at launch, but honestly, this game is kind of fucked no matter when it tries to release, because look at the release date now currently, which is May 2nd. It is like a few days before Star Wars, the new Star Wars Jedi, I think Jedi Survivor, which has been really hyped up as I think it's the sequel to Fallen Order, which I've heard nothing but praise for.
Even more importantly, 2 weeks out from that, the new Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, we're gonna get into we're gonna get into that later. But yeah, like 10 or 12 days, we got Tears of the Kingdom, and then like look at like June, July, August, September. That's getting packed every single week with new stuff that's coming soon. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think for the sake of this game, they probably needed to delay and release it with the 60 FPS patch.
Or just have it at launch, because it's on the PC version.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they're not going to have it ready for launch, they need to delay the launch.
Yeah. And it's so funny that, like, oh, hey, yeah, Xbox Series X, most powerful console in the world. Yeah, there's no performance mode for for some of your games there.
To me, it was like the Series S thing is whatever.
It's whatever. Yeah.
But the Series X fucking, like, not having performance mode, what's going to be available on PC and shit, like, I don't know what to say about that. I think that's the wildest news out of this whole thing.
That is the wild news. But speaking of things, Slade, coming at a later date, we have good old Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. We talked about this game when we talked about the absolute fucking terrible state of play that happened a few months ago now.
Yeah, it was a few months back at this point.
Yeah, and we talked about at the time they delayed the game. We didn't know for how long. Well, we know how long now. Nearly a year from when it was supposed to. So we Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League will now launch on February 2nd, 2024. We have made the tough but necessary decision to take the time needed to work on getting the game to be the best quality experience, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for support, blah, blah, blah. Much more news to share. Now, I still don't think a delay of this long is going to really fix a lot of the systemic issues people had with this game.
Yeah, the loop-based combat in particular was especially egregious, but I think they're making the right decision and at least attempting to combat this game's many problems.
Yeah, like
it's great ahead.
But this is what the Batman Arkham devs have been working on for like 6 to 8 years.
Pretty, obviously that's pretty upsetting. So good for them for recognizing that, hey, this game probably needs a lot more time in the oven.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know if they're going to release the very, criminally shady fucking microtransactions.
Those are still probably.
Those are probably still going to stay, but I don't think that, I don't think whether they remove this or not, it's going to save the game regardless at this point, because it's like, people already have spread the word of mouth of how terrible this game was in terms of its beta.
Yeah,
so they're gonna have to blow everybody's minds in a big way.
Yeah,
for it to overcome that stigma that's now attached to it.
Yeah, as soon as they showed all that stuff at that state of play a while back, and if you want to hear us talk about that, there should be an iCard somewhere on the screen for this. But yeah, good luck. The perception, your first impression, it's already pretty shit.
Yeah, I mean, it can't get any worse, right?
You say that, and it might. Who knows?
Who really knows at this point?
Speaking of stuff about really knowing, little terrible fucking segue on my part.
I don't know about that segue. But,
so we have, let's just talk about a report. This may or may not happen. We're gonna get ahead of this a little bit. We don't ordinarily do this, but, Slade, what's the occasion for why we're doing this?
So this is actually a special occasion for video games. The National Recording Registry indexed music from, obviously Madonna, Mariah Carey, into the Library of Congress, where, basically this is gonna be, recordings of music that's going to be preserved for all time based off their historical or aesthetical or cultural importance. And the very first video game soundtrack has been included in this National Registry.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going, but all right. But
so it's pretty fantastic news for video game overall.
Yeah.
The soundtrack they chose was the song from Super Mario Bros. Ground theme, or AKA World 1-1.
Yeah. Yeah. You get it. But yeah, it is joining such songs as Margaritaville and everybody's favorite song that plays for 3 months of the year, All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey.
Yeah, so back on the video game bit itself, for Super Mario Bros. Grand Theme Maker World 1-1. It is exciting to see that Koji Kondo is finally getting the critically acclaimed praise for possibly the most iconic soundtrack in all of video gaming in general.
Yeah, it is pretty iconic.
Yeah, so good on Koji Kondo, good for Nintendo. Honestly, good for video gaming because this is absolutely fantastic, and you just gotta love it.
Yeah. What's if you had to predict if another song was gonna go in? What song?
See, that's really tough. I don't know if they would leave the Mario franchise or they'd go to something else. My guess would be if they did go to something else, it would probably be Pokemon. Like, when you boot up red or blue version for the first time, and it gives you that da 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 da.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd probably be one, but I think they stick with the Mario franchise to probably go like 1-2 or
1-2,
1-4
yeah.
or something.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe the main Zelda theme, but
yeah,
because that's I would say that's pretty iconic.
Yeah, good for Super Mario Bros. Good for Nintendo, and good for video gaming.
So, this is a report. Keep in mind, this may or may not happen, but continue onward, Slade.
Yeah, so SEGA is in talks to acquire Rovio. Sorry, butchered that.
Yeah.
In terms of $1 billion.
Yeah, $1 billion,
which is crazy considering the only real IP they'd be acquiring in that $1 billion trade there would be Angry Birds. Which,
but they wouldn't only just be acquiring Angry Birds, which I feel like it's not as valued of a franchise anymore, especially considering, I think a couple weeks ago, we covered the whole shit show with Rovio Classics Angry Birds, because it was, quote, hurting the, basically hurting the free-to-play version.
Yeah, for sure. Basically, overall, just looking at, this acquisition that they're doing, I think this means that SEGA is valuing the talent that worked on Angry Birds there quite a bit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just don't feel like the Angry Birds franchise by themselves is worth $1 billion. I feel like that is a strong overvaluation.
Yeah.
But I suppose in today's day and age, with a lot of Japanese companies trying to make acquisition or sell IPs and whatnot, they don't exactly have the strongest track record in terms of hitting, the value of all these franchises. We've beaten Square Enix to death on the channel quite a bit, but
yeah.
SEGA also has a history where they haven't exactly made the greatest, financial decisions for the company.
Yeah, but obviously they're doing better than ever in a long time, since maybe the Genesis days. So
yeah.
And look, maybe this is Sega's big push to get into mobile, because they've made mobile games before. But maybe this will be their push, because they're going to acquire the talent as well if this deal goes through. And they do already have that mobile talent infrastructure there at Rovio. So who knows? It could be beneficial in mobile games. If they hit, they fucking hit, Slade. You play fucking Fire Emblem Heroes, and that game hits in terms of cash money.
Yeah, but I think that's a different audience that plays games like Fire Emblem Heroes versus your platformers like Sonic, Mario, or but I'm just type Worms games like Angry Birds.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in general, audience. If you hit it big on mobile, you hit it big on mobile.
Yeah, it could be just a gamble on that front, but overall, like I said, pretty interesting if this was a trade just to acquire Angry Birds, because at that point, that is definitely an overvaluation by quite a bit.
Yeah, but it would be the whole company. But speaking of companies, and we mentioned it already, Tears of the Kingdom. Enjoy Ganon staring into your soul while we talk about a little bit about the new the final Tears of the Kingdom trailer that released to the surprise of everybody.
Yeah, so Nintendo decided to up the ante a little bit in terms of content that they've shown. Previously, we've gotten kind of a bit of a drip feed in terms of like content that was showed off or announced or anything. They obviously are trying very hard to avoid spoilers for the most part.
Yes.
I feel like this trailer was just like, fuck it, show them everything.
Or show them a lot of shit and make them go, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit.
Yeah, it definitely has the holy shit factor that they've been lacking up until this point.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of much warranted skepticism of this game, considering we knew they were going to be reusing the same map from Breath of the Wild. And the drip feed of content that they should have hasn't really deviated much from what we saw in the first game.
Yeah.
To the point to where we're like, is this even a new game? Some people are calling it $70 DLC.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
Lamau, it's $70 now. Also, I don't have to play Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, but I actually think those comments were actually very warranted at the time, based off what
they
we
were.
knew. But now I think all the people that are like, "Oh, Lamau, how could anyone ever think that it was $70 DLC?" I feel like a lot of people fanboy over Nintendo and defend some of their most egregious or like stupid practices.
We're
And
gonna
up
talk about
until
that
this
later.
last trailer for Tears of the Kingdom,
Yeah.
they hadn't done anything. They hadn't showed us anything to prove that this game was going to be anything other than Breath of the Wild with some tacked on content. So I'm actually glad that this game looks incredible, and it actually seems to have, it basically seems like it's a brand new take on what Breath of the Wild did.
Yeah, like
for,
we got caves. It looks like you can go down below into some caves. We got like a friend system or whatever. the
yeah, it
tag
looks like there's some
system.
co-op like combat shit going on. You also got like dungeons and bosses that were severely lacking from the first game.
Yeah.
Long story short, there's a lot to love there. And obviously, what's Zelda without its most iconic villain? I think the problem with Breath of the Wild that I feel like a lot of people agree with me on is we did not have a clear villain. It
Yeah.
felt like we were just, the whole thing was just, we're fighting against nature and a force of nature. That's it.
Yeah.
Having a clear villain and a clear narrative to go in, I think is going to help Tears of the Kingdom a lot.
Yeah, and
but unfortunately, not all news involving Tears of the Kingdom are good news.
So oh boy, we got this situation. So for some context, so YouTuber by the name of PointCrow paid some developers to make a mod for the Wii U version of Zelda Breath of the Wild multiplayer. Like people have done, like a Small Ant has done with Super Mario Odyssey, making a multiplayer mod. PointCrow did that for Tears of the Kingdom. And PointCrow is a well-known Zelda challenge YouTuber and all that. But, yeah, last week, PointCrow released the first public version of the mod, and shortly after, Nintendo filed copyright claims against several of PointCrow's videos, and on Tuesday, in his Discord server, PointCrow announced that he was removing the mod's download links while, in talks with Nintendo. The full statement: I have taken down the mods in this Discord as I am currently in talks with Nintendo. All I can share right now. Please no speculation and understand that I will update you all as much as I can. Thank you so much. And we fucking got an update. 25 or 26 different videos have been taken down. 4 of them, all Zelda, Breath of the Wild multiplayer mod videos, were striked by Nintendo of Japan, and not only a whole bunch of Zelda modded videos were claimed by Nintendo USA, by the way, but also 3 different non-Breath of the Wild gameplay videos were claimed, all of which were modded, and then 1 non-modified gameplay video got claimed. So
yeah, but it also made, it had like modded shit, like jokes in the title, so they were probably baited by that.
Yeah. So
yeah, but he said he didn't want anybody to speculate, so we're not going to do.
Well, no, he said that before he put out all of this information.
Oh, never mind. He already put it out.
Okay. Yeah, this is just put out on his Twitter. But yeah, so
speculate away we will then.
Yeah.
Okay. So, long story short, this absolutely sucks. I mean, it's a shame that, companies like Nintendo could come in and just fucking wield their fucking IP against people who love their games.
Yeah.
Even though that they should, in theory, be protected under fair use. It's not like he was distributing ROMs or doing anything illegal.
Like he made it a point. When with his release of the mod, he did not put any actual Nintendo content in. From what I remember him saying in the videos, any of the mod work was like custom code, created code, didn't use Nintendo assets. And this is the Wii U version, so obviously, like, for some of these gameplay videos, they were using Simu, but, like, he wasn't actively promoting the piracy of Breath of the Wild Wii U.
No, he absolutely wasn't. And the reason why this whole situation sucks is because at this point, it's hard for YouTubers like PointCrow, and whatnot to like feel comfortable posting videos for like Tears of the Kingdom when that game comes out. Considering Nintendo could just come in with an iron hand and just fucking delete anybody off the face of YouTube at any like point.
I guess
just because they feel like it.
I guess really the dumb. Only point I'm gonna make, I guess, quote, in defense of Nintendo was that it not like all but one video was modded, but it's still not great, at least from a PR perspective anyways.
Well, even going into the whole modded versus not modded thing, again, there's nothing illegal about modding. That's what drives me crazy. These people own this product and have a right to do whatever they want with the product, so long as it doesn't represent the IP in a negative way.
Or they don't sell it.
Because
PointCrow does not sell at least to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure he wasn't selling the Breath of the Wild multiplayer mod. Now, an interesting point that I thought of earlier, surprised Small Ant and his crew didn't get hit for the Mario Odyssey multiplayer.
Well, and this is where I'm going to get into speculation. I know exactly why PointCrow is being targeted for Breath of the Wild content and Breath of the Wild modding.
Why do you think?
Tears of the Kingdom is coming out next month.
Yeah.
And Nintendo has this archaic fucking idea that somehow, if people play older titles in our series or modded older titles of our series, they won't want to buy our new title. And that is just the dumbest, stupidest, most brain dead, archaic logic.
Yeah.
Straight up ever.
Now, I'm going to throw in a little bit of my own speculation, and you could probably answer this, Slade, because this was something I thought of. Do you think he should have at least waited for the public release a little bit after Tears of the Kingdom?
To show off the modded Breath of the Wild stuff?
No, to release it. To release it publicly anyways. Because that's the only reason a lot of these modded Breath of the Wild videos got taken down was because PointCrow publicly released the mod.
No, I think that would have been worse if he had done it after the release, because at that point, they're going to be like, well, look at the timing, he's intentionally trying to hurt the sales.
Well, it depends on how far after.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think there's a good time, because I think within a year or two of Tears of the Kingdom's release, whether it's before or after, Nintendo was going to see it take it down anyway. And I think it was the news media and whatnot covering this multiplayer mod is ultimately what got it.
Well, it didn't really get coverage until it got released publicly.
I was going to say, it got released publicly. All the news and media articles started covering it. Yeah. That clued into Nintendo what was going on. They took it down. Again, the thing is, I don't see them going after Super Mario Odyssey's multiplayer mod.
until the next
until the
three
next
more.
Mario game gets announced. Yes, because I think they're very targeted in their approach. I think they look at this like, well, if everyone's playing modded Breath of the Wild, why would anyone want to play Tears of the Kingdom? It is the dumbest and most brain dead take out there. I don't think people or Nintendo understands that when people see content creators playing these IP and whatnot, modded or otherwise, it makes them want to go out and buy the IP. Like, I don't understand what's so complicated to understand about that. Like, anybody, I promise you, anybody who tunes into PointCrow specifically for the multiplayer Breath of the Wild mod is 120% going to buy Tears of the Kingdom anyway.
Yeah, and I've seen people be like, "Oh, boycott Tears of the Kingdom." I'm like, it's not gonna fucking work. It's not gonna work.
Don't boycott Tears of the Kingdom. It's not gonna do anything. People are gonna buy it in droves anyway.
Yeah.
If you think you're gonna like the video game, you might as well enjoy it.
Yeah, like PointCrow did point out. He pointed out that he wasn't going to be suing or anything because, as he said, it would be a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, and he couldn't fucking afford that. So I'm curious.
Fucking nobody could, honestly.
Yeah, nobody could except other multinational corporations or celebrities. So I'm curious what PointCrow does in the future, because I think there is a better than 0% chance that he tilts his content towards at least not Zelda stuff, even though that's what he's most known for, because obviously this situation might make him avoid doing Nintendo content in the future. Now, he has done other non-Nintendo games on his channel. I think he leans more into that, which may hurt him in the end, but if that's what's best for him, his team and stuff, because he has a team, apparently, as I learned today, or when the video came out. But I think that might be his best course of action, at least for the time being, is to focus on making non-Nintendo videos.
Yeah, and that's really unfortunate considering, like, I feel like nobody treats their fans worse than how Nintendo treats their own fans. And it's just like one of those things where, like, they just don't understand that 90%, 99% even, of, like, body content for, like, their games and whatnot are done out of a place of love and genuine respect for those games.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely mind-blowing that they just can't fathom, or they can't understand that, like, somebody who watches that content is, like, 20 times more likely to buy, IP related to said content than people who haven't.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things like, oh, he's playing Breath of the Wild. How dare he? No one's going to buy Tears of the Kingdom now. Like, how stupid do you have to be? I don't understand.
Yeah, the situation sucks, and I do think it is a bit weird some other stuff got wrangled in, even though it is modded, like the Pokemon Violet video. That's definitely a mod, I would have to assume. There was a Mario Odyssey one, funny enough. There was a Wii Sports video. Interesting that got caught in the crossfire.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, this is gonna be an interesting situation going forward. This is only the third time, surprisingly, that we have really covered like any type of YouTuber drama, which, hey, we got our quota. We got our quota for the year. We had Game Explain GVG a few years ago, which, holy shit, I'm old. Holy shit, we're old. We had the Austin Evans PlayStation Conundrum last year, and now this year. Oh, Lord. But yeah, we will keep you all up to date on anything in regards to this whole PointCrow situation. But yeah, another news grab bag. This seems to be the new format for our show, because the gaming industry just won't fucking stop, you know?
Yeah.
They're not gonna stop with the news, but we're gonna stop it right here and wish you all a good day, good night, and goodbye. So this has been Byron.
This has been Slade.
And we'll see you all later.